You know, whoever thought that one of my childhood favorite games, hide and go seek, could be destroyed by a movie? My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for Ready or Not. I really do appreciate it. And if this is your first time finding me and you want my honest opinion on movie reviews, trailer reactions, entertainment news, or anything I think is cool right now, please go ahead and click on that subscribe button and also the bell so you can get all of my content. Ready or Not is a film that I was really looking forward to. My expectations weren't super high through the roof, but I did walk into this film hoping to be thoroughly entertained. This is being co-directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett. They're a team. They both have a ton of short films on their filmography. They've also were a part of Devil's Due, but this is actually one of their first full-length features. Now, what is this film about? About a good old-fashioned game of hide and go get it. No, I'm just joking. No, a bride's wedding night takes a sinister turn when her eccentric new in-laws force her to take part in a terrifying game. Or Ready or Not follows a young bride as she joins her new husband's rich eccentric family in a time-honored tradition that turns into a lethal game with everyone fighting for their survival. Now, I like that plot synopsis right there, and one of the great things about the film is it does deliver on that. But let's go ahead and just talk about the good things in the film. Now, me personally, my opinion, I am not the biggest fan of opening credits in a film. Sometimes I think they can slow down the tone, especially if a powerful scene came right before it. But I think the opening credits in this film right here did serve a great purpose. It helps set up the tone and the mystery of the film that, you have to sit through. And I enjoyed it. I was drawn in, just trying to look at context clues, read writing on the wall. It really did pull me in initially when the film started and got my attention. The next thing I love about this film is the music, is the score. It was put together by Mr. Brian Tyler, and that name did sound familiar to me, especially when I was watching the opening credits, but he does a very good job of setting the tone and setting the mood, not just in the beginning, but throughout the entire film. And there were some moments where I was just kind of saying to myself, okay, this actually feels like a superhero epic. Why does it sound like that? I mean, this is not a superhero epic. This is a horror mystery thriller. But preparing for this review, I was looking up some of his credits, and he has been a part of a number of superhero films like Iron Man 3, Age of Ultron, Thor: The Dark World. He also was a part of What Men Want and Escape Room. So, he's pretty vast as far as spreading out his talents when trying to provide good musical structure for the film. The next thing I loved, and this is probably what I loved most about the film, and that's Grace, played by Samara Weaving. If you're not too familiar with her work, she was a part of 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. And that was actually one of my favorite films, or best films of 2017, I believe that the year came out. But she was freaking fantastic. I mean, I loved her. You guys thought that The Bride in the Kill Bill franchise was tough. No, she don't got nothing on Miss Grace, Samara Weaving in this film. Seriously, she is a writer, and what's so great about her character is you like her character before the game starts, before hide and seek starts, and that's just something that's very important when it comes to character development. There was also a couple of scenes where we did get a little bit of her backstory, finding out that she was a foster child, growing up not having much, and of course, we're all products of our environment. And those things like that shape us into we are the people that we are today. And I really did feel like I got to know her character. I liked her character. I was rooting for her character throughout. I love the reaction that she gave on screen when she realized that the shit hit the fan, that this family is trying to kill her and she has really nowhere to turn. At first, it was a reaction of shock and then just frustration and anger and just saying herself, okay, hey, this is a bunch of BS. I don't know how I got into this mess, but I have to get out of it. No one really knows how they will react in certain situations. I mean, you could say, hey, I'm going to be able to do this, I'm going to be able to do that, but a lot of people really don't know, and their true character comes out. And her true character came out in this film, in this role, and it is something that I really did appreciate. Also, something that I liked was how different the family was. I really did not care for the individual characters. I mean, some of them were pretty despicable, but something that's great in this film is the moral compass that lies in the middle of everything that was spinning in all directions. There were so many questions that, you would ask yourself and that the film answer as to how the family feels about this curse that's been placed upon them. Now, of course, I'm not going to go into any deep details and spoil it for you, but as you saw in the previews, when someone is married into the family, they have to kill them that night and do a sacrifice, or all is doom. And you say to yourself, okay, is someone really messed up if they say, or are you really a murderer if you're just put into a situation like, okay, I have to kill this person, but if I don't kill this person, not only am I gonna die, my entire family is gonna die. Like, does that make you evil if you're put into that situation? This film answers that question. And while I did not necessarily like the characters individually, I do like the premise that they were put up against, to get out of, and just to see kind of how they felt about the whole situation. Some of the family was malicious and they enjoy this type of game. Some were indifferent. They were on the fence. Some thought it was just completely disgusting and they didn't want to have any part of it. But at the same time, they had no choice. And so, families already argue, bicker, and fight over differences, but you still love each other. Same thing with this family. I mean, they had all those things that they had to deal with, in a normal situation, but then they have this curse put upon them, that they have to get out of. So it's just kind of like, okay, hey, what's going on here? Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? And I like that the film addressed all that. But the story was great. I like the camera work and everything. It was a giant house, a big maze, and everyone's going in and out. I thought a lot of the kills were very creative. They kept you interested because, they wasn't just new weapons in 2019. I was going to say prehistoric, but they were some weapons from just decades and decades and hundreds of years ago and things like that. And that's just kind of like one of the things that, kept the film, very entertaining to me. Also, it's very short. It only comes in at about 93 minutes. So you're in and out. And just one of the last things that I want to talk about that I really liked in this film is it being described as a horror mystery thriller. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say horror, but a mystery thriller, yes. But something else that I would add on to that is comedy. This movie is funny. I don't know. Well, yeah, I was going to say I don't know if it was intentional, but yeah, it is intentional. This movie is funny. They do have a number of jokes, silly reactions by the cast in the movie, and just some things that are just naturally funny. And that is something that I did appreciate. But those are the things that I liked about the film. Let's just go ahead and talk about the bad. Now, I just said 5 seconds ago that I did like the comedy in this movie because it was very funny at a number of points in time. But also, I thought the film was too funny at times. Sometimes it was just a little too silly. It was a little too goofy to where it took away the stakes in the movie. I mean, that the characters are taking this seriously, but I was like, okay, are you guys really just taking this seriously, or do you just want something to laugh at? Something else that I really just didn't care about is, I like nice storytelling that flows, and it did in this film, but there was one particular scene where it was just like a clear exposition dump, and I thought they could have segued a little smoother into this portion of the film. It's just literally like they just stop, let's explain the whole plot and the whole movie, and everything that this is about. Yes, that's necessary, but they could have did a better job, in my opinion, as far as that's concerned. Another thing is, while I did love Grace in this film, I thought she was awesome, there were just a few times to where I thought that, you know, she could have grabbed a weapon that was laying on the ground, like a gun, to protect herself. You know, I don't know. I mean, she was smart for the most part, but, you know, she's not just some rogue warrior assassin. She's not experienced that way. She's just a regular person. And given that, I thought she fought very good, going back to some of the things I did like. But that weapon part right there, you know, that did kind of bug me. But guys, those are just my thoughts on the film. If I were to give Ready or Not a rating out of a 1 out of 10, what do I want to give this film? I think I'm going to give Ready or Not a 7.5 out of 10. Yes, a 7.5 out of 10. I was thinking about giving it an 8. But I'm not sure. I was satisfied. I walked out entertained, but at the same time, I don't want to see this film again. Nothing against it, but it doesn't excite me that much. And so if you were interested in seeing Ready or Not, please go see the film. But if you had no interest at all, I don't think that this will be for you, because there was a ton of blood, a ridiculous amount of blood towards the end of the film, you know, but you know, it was enjoyable. So what I want to know from you guys, are you looking forward to this film? You know, let me know down in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. But guys, that is just my opinion. If you liked the video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up. If you didn't, that's fine. And also please consider subscribing to my channel and also looking me up on social media. But guys, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for Ready or Not. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.